Good morning. This is Sandro ERmindo FErmo, reciting from my book Blue Auburn, this little story called Canadian Fascism. It has something to do with our youth there in Canada. Not all of you, some of us went through this. Oh, wow, this is a stinky beginning of it, isn't it? Some of you went through this, and I'm going through it to this day. It's called Canadian Fascism. I better make it quick because you only got 20 minutes. On an outcast evening, there glowed a purple think tank near our cathedral that shrank under its charming reassurance with a toiling expenditure regarding of bells, clanging sonar and solar, on an outcast evening, there glowed a purple think tank near our cathedral that shrank under its charming reassurance with a toiling expenditure regarding the bells, clanging sonar and solar complacency that rang out an uplifting spirit out of its gifted reassurance of periodical grace. This underground embankment within a fermenting soil was secreting a lavish, luxurious trademark, that fragmented desolation, that appertained towards the infatuative value of perennial longing, isolating the mainstream's fragmented desolation from that of an immersed purification within the waters of baptismal fire. The pierced thorn that let out a prickly rose out of its generational ineptitude with a mighty sigh of spiritual rebirth. The temperament of an Italian personification, the detached self-created recording lark through memory lane, and the offspring of his well-begotten genius slashed out its intentional cord from the womb of life, springing forth a lawless decree that astonished the purveyors of true knowledge and wisdom. This damning reappraisal of the Christian self confirmed the darlings of female splendor alongside the gentlemanry of dishonor, embarked upon many planes of reciprocal needs of scholastic longing, with a cultural mishmash of assimilative creeds. The reverential decay of ensuing primordial ingratitude then confiscated the forbidden fruit from its virginal awkwardness that perfected the immoral detachment from the Calabrian self, with the guttural ambiguity of its earthly powers and simplicity that once resounded with maternal traits of logistical care and reason, before the illuminative cross of intellectual supremacy, with the falsely attributed sense of artificial grandeur alongside the matriarchal of true and real presence, became insanity became the aristocratic outlaw of the progressive conservative asses, creating an adopted paternal insanity towards Prime Minister of big cheeses that would be just as much an Italian mother's flatulence than their vaunted display of snobbish absurdity. This right-wing obligation discerned the condescending value of the fascist Italian loss and abduction from the Remembrance Day child that could never truly be, nor belong. This Canadian dream came to an end when the fascist war child was used, manipulated, and righteously convicted within the hologram rule of Auburn, monumental Bolivarian Nazism, with the big T reminding both Mila and Pinochet of our good and goofy Clean deeds. With a hologram restraining order within safe and loving Italian soil that have the universal aspect of a Catholic Vatican, reminding them of a true Italian conditional despisal of such rancid behavior. For there will be no amend towards this war's loss for another 100 years. That is according to Marshall Plan. That is, of course, if the Canadian Conservative Party gives them the permission to beseech Hiroshima, mon amour. For some people might get Italians are insane in writing, and the Canadian punishment was unfit for such a simple man. And may they weep as eternally as each fallen soldier's mother in distant shores was, Christ replied. For there is no true altruism of loss and convention in just not participating in such useless endeavors, such as the Iraq-Slavic War was, and will always be, even for those leftist Italian prime ministers who shall be ingratiated by eternity within the gratitude of American Republican and Democratic skies, who were far too few and much needed for the sake of historical rekindlement with the impossible historical revocation of its very, but wanted plight by Mussolinian craftsmanship of empirical foolhardiness, while even the deserting partisans await a historic reappraisal regarding true allied grace within the consistency of the patient and subsequent time. Thank God that kind of behavior doesn't work anymore. In the background, you can hear her howling at me while I'm trying to be very productive and cultural. So it kind of messes up your mind a little bit, you know what I mean? So take care and heil my ass. Bye-bye.